Let's keep it going with the calls via Discord, which we do on Fridays. You can join the Discord for free at davidpakman.com/Discord. Let's go to Gabe from North Carolina. Gabe, welcome to the program. What is on your mind today? Gabe, please accept my invitation to chat. And last chance for Gabe. Welcome.
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay, cool. How you doing, David? Just a quick question. All those remixes you have on, like when we're waiting for Twitch.
Yep.
Like when you're waiting for how do I get those remixes? Can you put those on Apple Music or Spotify?
Oh yeah. So do I have news for you? Let me look at my calendar here. Hold on a second. When is this? I have a date where the album. Okay, we're scheduled to start pre-orders of the album. It's going to be free, by the way. So when we say pre-orders, it's just sort of like to say, hey, deliver the album to me on the release date. August 16th, cool. Album pre-order will start. And then August 23rd, the idea was August 23rd is the day of the first Republican debate. So I'll likely be streaming the debate. That is the album release date. Wednesday, August 23rd. The biggest hits from the remixes that the audience has made are going to be on iTunes, Apple Music, all of those platforms. August 23rd is the big day.
Awesome. I appreciate that, man. Those things are awesome. I go to the gym and listen to those things, and they make me laugh while I'm working out. It's just
Is
fun
there
to
a particular song that really pumps you up when you're working out?
The one yesterday, it was the one where you, who's that guy you did an interview with, and he just said something so stupid about the whole Israel and Palestine issue.
Patrick Bet-David. Patrick Bet-David.
Yeah, him. That remix had me going yesterday.
That's a hell of a song. That's from Bongo Boy. He's the one who made that one.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that. I appreciate it, sir. I love the show. I've subscribed for a few months now. I get all my news from you. I don't watch any mainstream news anymore. So,
well, listen, just remember, I love what you're saying, Gabe, but I always am super upfront. I don't do news. I do commentary. So I do think if you want to be informed, add some, add Associated Press, Reuters, etc. to your media diet to fill in. Nobody should only be listening to me. Unlike the right wingers who claim to have all the answers, I don't claim that, Gabe, with peace and love.
That's true. I appreciate that, good sir.
Gabe from North Carolina, great to hear from you. Wow, what a day. What a day of phone calls. A lot of these are going well to very well. Let's go to Boris in Denver. Boris, welcome to the David Pakman Show.
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. I don't think I've seen you comment on this yet, but I was reading about the upcoming presidential elections in Argentina, and I've been seeing that like in the aftermath of the recent economic crisis there, with the leftist party being in power, that the far right party has gained a lot of traction in the polling, and it's looking pretty tight. I was wondering, like, what was your look on the upcoming election there?
I've not been following it as closely as I would like, just because I've had my hands full between the book and the show and the baby and travel and all these different things. That being said, my audience knows I am not a Christina guy. So the entire Kirchner movement is not for me. There's this kind of bonkers guy, Milei, who has now shown up onto the scene, and he's getting some attention. I'm not a fan of his either. So listen, the situation in Argentina is a mess. I am not as informed as I should be to make a more definitive declaration, but neither the Kirchner people nor Milei are my cup of tea, if I can say that.
Okay, no, that's cool. I guess, so more broadly speaking, though, I was just wondering about this trend that I've noticed where it seems like the sort of populist left has had a lot of success in South America. We've seen like they won the presidential elections in Peru, they won recently in Colombia, and I believe Bolivia and several, and Lula coming back in Brazil.
Yep.
They've had a lot of success in South America, but it seems like the far populist fascist right seems to be really ascendant, on the contrary, in Europe, where you have Christine Lagarde in Italy. France is apparently like getting closer to like electing a far right candidate in their upcoming elections, and I think you have Hungary and some other places. Do you know like any reason like for that dichotomy, like why the populist left is more successful in South America, but the
So a couple
far
different
fascist
things,
right is
Boris.
more
First of
successful
all,
here?
it's not Christine Lagarde in Italy. It's Giorgia Meloni. Very important
Oh,
difference.
sorry, that's
Yeah, we don't want
my
to
fault. Yeah.
assail the character unnecessarily of Christine Lagarde, although we could assail her character in other ways if we wanted. Listen, here's the thing. South America and Europe, totally different circumstances, totally different political animals, culturally extraordinarily different. The what we've seen in Europe in terms of the rise of the authoritarian right has mirrored the rise of Trump in the United States. A lot of it has been sort of happening under the similar auspices and circumstances. In Latin America, it's a very different situation. The relationship of Latin America to North America and Europe is very different than the relationship between the United States and Europe. And so circumstances are just different. Everything is different. So it's not a shock to me that we've seen very different trends in each.
Yeah. Okay. No, I see what you're saying. I was just curious, like what we could learn from maybe like the successes of the left in not that all of these leftist leaders in South and Latin America are great, but some of the successes from them, like in being able to like defeat the far right,
Yeah,
because
I
I just
think
think it's dangerous to say.
here's the thing. For me, it's a very cautionary tale, both in Europe and Latin America, because as everybody knows, I'm not an authoritarian fascist right winger. I also am not a Castro, Maduro, Chavez type guy. I think these are just the other side of the authoritarian strongman coin from someone like Trump. They talk about poverty reduction and social programs, but to the extent that they implement them, they often do so for their own benefit and the benefit of their friends. Doesn't mean they don't do some good things like reducing hunger or things that are to be applauded. But I see in general this populist rhetoric used to win elections by left and right. I see it as a cautionary tale.
Okay, no, that's fair. All right, Dave. Well, I appreciate you taking my call. Good talking to you.
All right, Boris from Denver, great to hear from you.